Hello, my friend. Take a moment and picture this, a quiet village nestled in the hills of Eastern Europe, where the wind carries the scent of wheat fields and the distant ring of a church bell. One ordinary afternoon, everything changes in an instant. A young girl is torn from the only world she's ever known and carried across seas and empires. Yet somehow, that same girl rises to stand beside the most powerful ruler on earth. How does a life that begins in chains end up reshaping history? Stay with me, because this is the remarkable true story of a woman whose spirit refused to be broken, and whose voice would echo through centuries. Imagine stepping into that small village around the year 1520. Simple wooden homes, hard-working families tending their crops, children playing in the dirt. Life moves slowly here, shaped by the seasons and faith. Among the villagers lives a bright-eyed teenager with striking red hair. She's quick-witted, warm, and full of laughter that seems to lift everyone around her. People notice her. She has a way of making the everyday feel brighter. Then, without warning, horsemen sweep in from the east. Raiders from the Crimean steppes descend on the borderlands, as they sometimes did in those turbulent times. Chaos follows. Families scatter. In the confusion, this young girl is captured and taken far from everything she loves, her home, her family, her future. She and others are marched for hundreds of kilometers through dust and exhaustion, then sold at a bustling slave market in Crimea. From there, she crosses the Black Sea, heading toward the beating heart of the known world, Istanbul. She arrives as a stranger in the grandest city of its age. Istanbul, once Constantinople, pulses with life. 500,000 souls, majestic mosques touching the clouds, markets overflowing with treasures from every corner of the globe. The Ottoman Empire stretches across 3 continents, unmatched in power and influence. Its armies are feared, its navy dominates the seas, and at its center sits the Sultan himself. In 1520, a remarkable young man named Suleiman had just ascended the throne. Later called Suleiman the Magnificent, he would expand the empire's reach, reform its laws so thoroughly that his people named him the lawgiver, and earn admiration as a poet, builder, and visionary leader. He ruled from the opulent Topkapi Palace, a place of courtyards, gardens, and marble halls overlooking where Europe meets Asia. Within the palace lay the harem, a private household, not the fantasy of later tales, but a complex world of its own with hundreds of women, strict traditions, and opportunities for those with talent and determination. Our young girl from the village enters at the very bottom. She speaks no Turkish, knows no one, and carries the heavy weight of everything she has lost. Many in her position might have withdrawn into silence and sorrow. But something inside her refused to dim. The Ottomans gave her a new name, Hürrem, meaning the cheerful one. Even after unimaginable hardship, she held on to her warmth. She smiled. She laughed. She observed everything around her with sharp intelligence. Slowly, she mastered the language. She studied poetry, music, and the ways of the court. She wasn't known for being the most conventionally beautiful woman there, but her mind sparkled. She could converse with scholars, entertain with wit, and offer thoughtful insights that lingered long after she spoke. Word of this remarkable young woman reached Suleiman. He began seeking her company. Their conversations went far beyond pleasantries. They spoke of poetry and philosophy, of the challenges facing the empire, of hopes and ideas. She listened deeply. She asked meaningful questions. She saw him not only as a powerful sultan but as a man with dreams and burdens. In a world of rigid protocol, she brought something rare, genuine connection. Over time, a profound bond grew. Suleiman found himself drawn to her like no other. This was no ordinary affection. Ottoman tradition was clear and had stood for generations. A woman in the harem might bear a son and then be sent away to raise him in a distant province. No one stayed at the heart of power. Marriage to the Sultan? Unthinkable for someone of her background. Yet Hürrem's presence changed everything. She remained by his side. She became the mother of 6 children, 5 sons and a daughter. Year after year, their connection deepened. Then came the moment that stunned the empire. Around 1533 or 1534, Suleiman took a step no sultan before him had done. He granted Hürrem her freedom, elevating her from her former status. As a free woman, she chose to marry him in a formal union. A former captive from a distant village was now the legal wife of the world's most powerful ruler. Ambassadors wrote home in disbelief. The court whispered. The people of Istanbul could talk of little else. This breakthrough opened a new chapter. As Harsaiki Sultan, Hürrem became one of Suleiman's most trusted advisors. She reviewed reports from across the empire, offered counsel on important matters, and even exchanged letters with rulers in Europe, including the kings of Poland and France. She stepped into roles that women in the Ottoman world had rarely held before, proving that intelligence and quiet determination could shape destinies. She used her influence with care and vision. Understanding that true strength lies in lifting others, she commissioned grand charitable works. In Istanbul, she established the Harsaiki Sultan complex, a place of worship, learning, healing, and nourishment. It included a mosque, a school for children, a hospital, and a soup kitchen that fed the hungry daily. She built public baths and fountains so that ordinary people could find comfort and clean water. Her generosity reached far beyond the city, supporting projects in Mecca and Jerusalem and helping those in need across distances. Life at the center of power was never simple. The Ottoman court held rivalries and high stakes, especially around succession. Hürrem navigated these challenges with the same resilience that had carried her from the beginning. She protected her family and worked within the realities of her time. Her story carries both light and the understandable shadows of a complex era, where survival demanded difficult choices in a world that often left little room for mercy. Hürrem passed away in 1558, likely in her mid-50s. Suleiman was heartbroken. The mighty conqueror who had led armies across continents mourned deeply. He composed tender poems remembering her as his springtime, his cheerful love, his everything. He placed her tomb beside the magnificent Suleimani mosque he had built, one of the greatest architectural wonders of the age, so she would remain close even in eternity. When Suleiman himself passed in 1566, he was laid to rest beside her. Their story didn't end there. Hürrem's example helped usher in what historians call the Sultanate of Women, a period when mothers and wives of sultans played significant roles in governance for over a century. Her son Selim too succeeded to the throne, and her legacy of intelligence, perseverance, and public service lived on. Today, millions visit her tomb in Istanbul. Her life has inspired books, dramas, and discussions around the world. She stands as a powerful reminder that our beginnings do not dictate our endings. My friend, Hürrem could not choose the horseman who took her or the painful journey into the unknown, but she chose how she faced each day, learning, speaking, connecting, and using her voice to make a difference that changed an empire. And here's the quiet truth for all of us: you carry that same potential. Whether you're learning a new language or facing uncertainty, keep showing up, keep learning, and keep choosing hope. Resilience isn't about never falling, it's about rising and lifting others. What touched you most about her story? Share in the comments. Until next time, take care and remember, your voice matters. I'll see you soon.